Hello, everyone. I'm Bob Trudeau, President of Massachusetts Youth Soccer Association. The following presentation provides data and information related to the special membership meeting called for Sunday, October 3rd, 2021 in the virtual format. I invite you to carefully review the presented materials so you will be well informed prior to the meeting. Here is the agenda for the video notification of the special membership meeting. An introduction to the video. We will explain the purpose of the meeting, provide the recommendation of the board of directors to the membership, provide data and information to support said recommendation, and finally, a schedule of events prior to the special membership meeting to allow for members to receive additional information and ask questions. Massachusetts Youth Soccer is making this video available to our membership to provide information necessary to make an informed decision regarding the current conditions and planned improvements to the association's major asset, the Progin Park Field Complex in Lancaster. In this video, we will describe the current conditions at the complex, the scope and timeline of the turf replacement, infrastructure repairs and maintenance projects, the financial options being considered to pay for the project, and finally, a schedule of additional virtual webinars being planned for our membership Q&A and feedback. By way of explanation, the State Association's Constitution, Section 802, provides a process for calling of a special meeting of the membership, including a 60-day advance notice and a 30-day notification of the specific purpose of the meeting. The purpose of the meeting can be to transact business that might otherwise be considered at an AGM, such as constitution and bylaw changes or other proper business purpose. Specifically, for this October special membership meeting, the meeting is being called to comply with the Constitution Section 406 that capital expenditures of $100,000 or more require membership approval. In this case, the board of directors is recommending membership approval of an expenditure not to exceed $2.5 million for the full replacement of the 5 artificial turf fields and necessary improvements and deferred maintenance at the Progin Park soccer facility. Here is an aerial view of Progin Park, the 16-field complex in Lancaster that supports a wide variety of Mass Youth Soccer programs, services, and events. The 5 turf fields to be replaced are the darker green fields on the right side of the picture. The turf fields were installed late in 2006 and first played on in 2007. Normal lifespan is 10 to 11 years maximum. However, through aggressive annual maintenance, playability on the fields has been extended to the present. The turf fields currently meet minimum safety requirements for play, passing an annual GMAX or bounce test. However, that condition is likely to change in the near future. Further, the condition of the turf fiber overall has deteriorated to the point that it negatively affects the quality of play on the field surface. The timeline for the turf replacement is as follows. The special membership meeting approval in October 2021. In November, final selection of the supplier and contract signing. A down payment for turf material will be required at that time. End of March 2022, final play on current turf fields, as we have a number of spring preseason tournaments scheduled on the turf fields throughout the month of March. Replacement work will start April 1st through early June 2022. June 15th is the target date to resume play. And based on prior estimates of work scope, that target date provides 2 to 3 weeks cushion for reopening. We are also planning to make additional repairs and attend to deferred maintenance, including the following: roadway repairs, in particular the old Union Turnpike entrance and the triangle area at the intersection of roads leading to the facility pavilion and the backfields parking area. Grading and materials to improve gravel main parking lot and the back parking lot roadway. Repairs to the switchback stairs from the main parking lot down to the front fields. Drainage culvert repairs on the main entrance roadway. Pavilion area repairs, including the grounds, surrounding areas, and the bathroom facilities. Grass field repairs, including irrigation, leveling, and seeding. Our executive director continues to aggressively negotiate estimates. However, presently, the costs associated with the project are $1.8 million for the turf field replacement, $600,000 for infrastructure repairs, and $100,000 as a contingency fund. Now let me turn over the presentation to our treasurer, Thomas Ringler, to explain the financial options for the project.
Thank you, Bob. For those who don't know me, my name is Thomas Ringler, and I'm the treasurer of Mass Youth Soccer since June 2020. Since the proposed not to exceed 2.5 million capital expenditure is a significant investment with a major impact on our balance sheet, the board of Mass Youth Soccer asked me to review our current capital and funding structure as part of the overall due diligence for this project and make a funding recommendation. As such, I discussed this topic over the course of 3 months in 3 meetings with the board. While this is not part of the vote at the special meeting in October, I nevertheless want to share with our members the financial details of my review and recommendation. So let me start with my recommendation first, and after that, I will walk you through the explanation. As the treasurer of Mass Youth Soccer, I recommend raising $6 million in new debt with TD Bank and Massachusetts Development Agency to A, pay off current debt of $4 million with Massachusetts Development Agency, and B, use $2 million of debt to pay for not to exceed $2.5 million of capital expenditure. Now, before I get into the explanation of the recommendation, let me show you first our financial recovery in 2021, because that put us in a strong position with TD Bank and Massachusetts Development Agency in the first place, and gave us the option to improve our capital and funding structure. This slide shows our revenues in $1 million for pre-COVID 2019, 2020, and 2021. After our revenues went down from $4.5 million in 2019 to only $2.6 million in 2020 due to COVID-related cancellations of our spring and summer programs, we expect a strong recovery of our revenues in 2021 to approximately $4.1 million, which is almost back to pre-COVID levels. Next slide shows our expenses in $1 million for pre-COVID 2019, 2020, and 2021. As you can see, we reduced our cost base from $4.5 million in 2019 by $1.3 million to $3.2 million in 2020. Now, despite an expected increase of revenues in 2021 of approximately $1.5 million compared to 2020, we expect to increase our expenses in 2021 by approximately $0.5 million compared to 2020, essentially running our organization more efficiently. This slide shows our net operating result for pre-COVID 2019, 2020, and 2021. As you can see, after we posted a COVID-related loss in 2020 of $0.8 million, we expect a strong financial recovery in 2021 with an estimated net operating profit of $0.4 million, which is even better than our pre-COVID result in 2019. Compliment to the management of Mass Youth Soccer. Now let me get back to the explanation of my recommendation of raising $6 million, A, to pay off current $4 million loan with Massachusetts Development Agency, and B, to use $2 million of debt to pay for not to exceed $2.5 million of capital expenditure. My capital and funding structure review resulted essentially in 3 key findings. Number 1, while we currently enjoy a low interest rate and low principal payments on our current $4 million loan with Massachusetts Development Agency, the variable interest rate and escalating principal payments pose a significant risk to Mass Youth Soccer ability to service the debt in just a few years. Number 2, take advantage of the low interest rate environment and borrow cheap money as much as you can while it lasts. And number 3, cash is king, especially when events like COVID happen unexpectedly. I personally slept a lot better during summer and fall of last year, knowing that we had $1.5 million in our investment fund. My recommendation of raising $6 million to retire current risky debt of $4 million and to use low interest debt of $2 million to pay for the majority of the not to exceed $2.5 million capital expenditures, as well as maintaining a healthy cash reserve of $2 million, is addressing essentially all 3 key findings. As a last check, I modeled the cash flow streams of the recommended new loan using debt to pay for the capital expenditure and compared it to current loan using the investment fund of $2 million to pay for the capital expenditure. Essentially, based on the assumptions shown in the chart, both funding structures can pay off the loan in 10 years by end of 2031. And the small cash balance of $0.4 million can be in the investment fund. After the loans are paid off, there are approximately $0.5 million that can be paid into the investment fund. By the time the returfed fields need to be returfed again in 12 to 15 years, there will be approximately $2.5 to $3 million in the investment fund to pay for the returfing if we choose so. Essentially, both funding structures can achieve the same result, but my recommended loan structure has 3 important benefits. Benefit 1, a substantial cash reserve available for all years. Benefit 2, potential of higher returns on the funds in the investment fund. And benefit 3, eliminating any interest rate increase risks. All that together led to my recommendation, which received the support of the board in our last meeting on September 1st. That concludes my part, and I hope this was informative and helpful. Back to Bob.
Thank you, Thomas. This video addresses the requirement of providing the membership the purpose of the special membership meeting 30 days prior to the meeting. Additionally, Mass Youth Soccer is scheduling 2 virtual webinars to provide the membership the opportunity to ask questions and provide feedback regarding the project. The first webinar will be held Tuesday, September 14th at 7:30 p.m., followed by a second webinar on Thursday, September 23rd, 7:30 p.m. Information as to how to access the scheduled Q&A webinars will be posted on the Mass Youth Soccer website. Thank you for your attention to this video. I hope you found it informative and provides you with a greater understanding of the Mass Youth Soccer Field Complex Returf and Infrastructure Repairs Project. We look forward to answering any questions you may have at the scheduled September webinars.